If you're serious about history and the survival instincts that soldiers honed during the Second World War, you're in the right place. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and share this video with anyone who appreciates the gritty, practical side of history. Today, we're uncovering secrets that aren't in your standard history book. 7 hidden food storage spots soldiers never think to search. These are the places where ingenuity and necessity met, and where finding sustenance could literally mean the difference between life and death. During WWII, soldiers were trained to be resourceful, but the chaos of war often left them improvising with whatever they had at hand. Understanding these hidden storage strategies not only gives you insight into their daily struggles, but also teaches modern enthusiasts valuable lessons in survival and clever resource management. Let's start with a spot that might surprise you. The first spot to consider is beneath floorboards. In occupied Europe, soldiers and resistance fighters alike would hide caches of food under the wooden slats of homes, barns, and even abandoned buildings. These spaces were perfect because they were out of sight, often overlooked by enemy searches, and offered a naturally cool environment that slowed spoilage. For a modern application, think about how small compartments beneath floorboards or hidden panels in your cellar could safely store emergency supplies. The principle is the same. Concealment and a stable environment are key. Next are hollowed-out logs or tree stumps. Soldiers operating in forests would often use these natural structures to conceal bread, dried meat, or preserved vegetables. A hollow log not only keeps supplies hidden, but also protects them from direct sunlight and moisture. If you're recreating this technique for historical reenactments or practical prepping, select a log that's dry and elevated slightly to prevent water from seeping in. You can line the hollow with a cloth or wax paper to further protect your supplies. Another overlooked location is within chimneys. It sounds counterintuitive, but inactive or blocked chimneys were prime storage areas. Soldiers would drop food packages into the flue, often using the brickwork to create small niches. In modern survival practice, unused vertical spaces in your home, like vents, chimneys, or even crawl spaces, can serve the same purpose. The key lesson here is vertical storage. Don't limit yourself to ground-level spaces when looking to conceal essentials. Walls were also exploited for hidden caches. Soldiers and civilians alike often removed a few bricks or panels to store food. The advantage is obvious. Walls are structural, heavily trafficked areas that are rarely fully searched. Today, this translates to creating concealed compartments behind removable wall panels or inside furniture with hidden cavities. Historical insight meets practical prepper knowledge in this approach, showing that sometimes the best hiding spot is literally in plain sight. Ceiling spaces deserve a mention as well. Attics or suspended ceilings provided both dryness and concealment, two critical factors for long-term storage. Soldiers would use these areas to hide sacks of potatoes, dried fruits, and canned goods. For practical use, ensure the space is ventilated to avoid mold or spoilage, and remember that weight distribution is important if you're storing heavier items. The WWII application teaches us to think vertically in 3 dimensions, not just horizontally. Buried caches were perhaps the most classic method, but, the subtleties make all the difference. Soldiers didn't just dig a hole. They carefully selected locations away from obvious paths, camouflaged the entrance with natural foliage, and sometimes even used diversionary decoys. Modern preppers can adopt a similar mindset by burying emergency food in airtight containers and marking the spot with subtle landmarks or GPS coordinates. The principle is simple. If it's worth storing, it's worth protecting with strategy and foresight. Lastly, abandoned vehicles and military equipment were often repurposed as secret storage units. Soldiers would hollow out tires, remove seats, or use the interiors of trucks and tanks to stash supplies. The mobility factor meant that food could be moved as the front lines shifted, making these caches extremely flexible. Translating this today, think about hidden compartments in vehicles for long-term travel, road trips, or emergency kits. Mobility can be as critical as concealment, especially when facing unpredictable scenarios. These 7 hidden WWII food storage spots not only reveal the ingenuity and adaptability of soldiers under extreme conditions, but they also offer practical lessons for anyone interested in survival, prepping, or historical reenactment. By studying where and how food was hidden, you gain insight into the resourcefulness that allowed millions to survive under incredibly challenging circumstances. Whether it's floorboards, hollow logs, chimneys, walls, ceilings, buried caches or vehicles, each method emphasizes concealment, protection from the elements, and strategic foresight. If you found this guide valuable and want more deep dives into WWII survival techniques, secret tactics, and hidden knowledge that textbooks often skip, don't forget to subscribe and share with your fellow history buffs. Every like, comment, and subscription helps us keep exploring the past in ways that are both practical and fascinating.